Hello, friends. So I'm going to try to black out this light, but it's still 1:45 in my kitchen. So I'm on, I don't know, day something of recovery from my foot surgery. God, I am so bored. But I've also started, prior to that, I had started a keto diet, and it's like a keto modified diet. And wow, I am so tired. I've spent all of my time sleeping, which is not something that's customary to me. But when I'm awake, I'm doing this kind of thing that I've been doing, which is, reading and looking at spiritual stuff. So today's topic, are psychics baloney? Are they full of crap? Right? So I think that's a question that a lot of religious people have. And it's interesting, right? From a religious perspective, growing up, I was always told like the occult was bad. And so don't go to a tarot card reading, don't have your palm read, don't go to a fortune teller, blah, blah, blah. So that suggests that there is a belief even on the religious side that this stuff does actually exist, right? That it is actually a thing. Because if it wasn't a thing, why would anybody care that you did it, right? So I think even on the religious side, there's, times in the Bible where it talks about people speaking in tongues, which is a different language, that only the angels can interpret or the spirit can interpret. So I think there is evidence even in the Bible as it's accepted that these sort of energies exist. And then when you think about the Holy Spirit, I mean, the Holy Spirit is the one that came to Mary and said, hey, you're going to have God's baby, right? And we've seen angels appear in different places throughout the Bible. So I think, the church recognizes that there are beings that we don't understand. So if you're a religious person and you're afraid of this sort of energy, know that I think religiously it's accepted at some level. Not being a church-going person myself and being more of a spiritual person, I'm always out because looking for I'm looking for the false people, right? I'm looking for the false prophets. I'm looking for the people who are trying to just profit from what they're doing, and people who are just spewing baloney out there and trying to be a person warning others of the baloney that's out there. And I have spent the last 4 days just looking through YouTube, watching all kinds of videos, watching things for my astrological sign, which is Scorpio, and just kind of like looking at stuff. And I will say that prior to, this particular journey that I'm in right now, I have a friend, a close friend, a person whom I admire just so much and in so many ways. She really is just a tremendous person, and she's gone through a lot in her life. And I don't want to out her here, but of any person that I've ever met physically in this world that has a gift for psychic ability, it's her. She actually, before she ever even met me, knew something about me that nobody else would know, right? Like nobody else would know, and she knew it. And so I trust her readings like 100%, because she is spot on about a lot of things. And even recently, a friend of ours' daughter had died and had cancer and was really sick. And the morning of that she passed, I knew she was passing. She knew she had passed. So we're texting each other at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Like we're texting each other. I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't going well. And she's texting me back saying, I think, I had a dream and this happened in this dream, and what should I do? Should I tell the mother? And, I think, we're connected, and I think, perhaps part of a soul family, maybe. I'm not sure I believe in that stuff, but I definitely think that we're connected, and we definitely have something's going on. Things that we shouldn't know, intuition, we'll call it whatever you will. Something's going on there. So I've seen it before this sort of journey that I'm on during my recovery from my foot, that there is merit to it. And there's merit to prayer, right? We've seen time and time again, prayer working, talking to our spirits, talking to the spirit guides that we have, talking to Jesus, praying to Mary, praying to the saints. Like we see these things work, right? So it shouldn't be a big surprise or a shock that these things are true or real, because we see them working around us all of the time. But let's talk about like the 1-800 numbers. Let's talk about the YouTube channels. So I've spent too much time, really, because I can't move. And I'm not a TV watcher, so YouTube is nice because they're short clips and I can pause them and do other things when I want to. it's been fascinating. Like I found, like it's been fascinating. There are definitely some readers that I'm interested in. I don't read tarot, but I watch people read tarot. And, I absolutely believe 99.9% of the things that I've watched, I do believe the people doing it believe they have a gift. So I'll say that from the start. I didn't come across anybody really that I thought, well, this person is just out for like, shits and giggles or whatever. Like they're not trying to manipulate the masses. Like they weren't doing it for money. They were doing full readings. So it wasn't like, well, I'm going to pull the first 3 cards, and if you want to learn more, then hit me up and pay $100 and get a reading. Like they were full readings. And then it's funny. So, I think the population that look at this stuff are people who are lonely or people who are going through stuff or whatever. I think, I mean, I don't know. I was looking at it sort of in general, but by far, like the number one topic for sort of every zodiac sign was, like love and love interests and things like that. And, for Scorpio, like I probably watched, I don't know, like a ridiculous amount of these videos. And interestingly, they all kind of say the same thing, which then I thought to myself, well, I mean, it's like coincidence if like 2 or 3 kind of have the same message, but when like 20 of them have the same message that, there was this person in my life who, we were really connected and we were, really close friends, and then this person walked away and didn't say anything, and like totally didn't say anything, and just kind of left. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, why did that person do that? Like, what happened? We didn't have a fight. We didn't do anything. Why would that be? And and kind of all of them said the very same thing about this person. And I thought, well, that's crazy. But then I thought, well, maybe all the Scorpios out here, or maybe everybody has a person in their life who just kind of like walks away and like doesn't give them a reason why. The messages, it was funny because the messages are always like, this person really cares about you. This person really loves you. This person just needs to figure out their own shit, and they're going to come back to you after they figure it out. There's a third party involved. There's something blocking this person being with you as a friend or being with you as a romantic interest. It could be a person on their side. It could be a person on your side, and probably that's all true in this particular case. I mean, I knew that this person was seeing somebody else, and he didn't want to tell me he was seeing somebody else. I don't know why he thought I would have cared. But whatever. There were a lot of signs leading up to like the great silence, as I call it, that, showed me that he was probably seeing somebody else, but he didn't want to tell me. And, I don't know why that would be, because everybody gets to live once. Have a great life. Like be out there, be with the person that you want to be with, your soulmate. But these cards say that this person is my soulmate. And, and I'm a person who believes that you can have multiple soulmates, right? You don't have just one. You have a soul family of people that you're connected to. So, so interesting that all of them would say the exact same thing. But then my skeptical brain is like, well, maybe they say that for all the signs. So let me check out some of the other signs and see, what they say. And it's interesting because they don't say the same stuff. Like, the information for Taurus was pretty consistent across the board. The information for Aquarius was pretty consistent across the board. The information for Leo, and I don't know, like, do these folks like watch each other and then like do their own readings? I don't know. They also pull a lot of cards, right? Like they don't just do one deck; they do like multiple decks. And I'm very impressed, even though I don't read tarot. I'm very impressed that they know what all the cups mean and all the and it's funny, in almost every reading the same cards came up. Like the devil came up in response, like this person is like a trickster, not a trickster like trying to trick me, but just a trickster hiding his feelings and hiding what's going on with him, because he doesn't want to hurt me, and because he does really love me, and he really wants to come back, and he really wants me to be part of his life, but he hasn't figured out how that can work, and blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't know how the devil card shows you that. I have no idea. So, but in watching them, there's two different ways they do it. One is they like deal the cards and you just see the cards. And the other thing is that they'll have it on them, the camera on them like I'm doing, and then they'll have the cards and somehow they have a fancy camera set up and then you can see both. And it's interesting when you watch their faces, they're really into it and they know these cards. They know what they're talking about. You know, I think there's a danger in following any advice blindly, right? I think that's a danger. I think it's, like if this person's like, don't let this person come back into your life, or, you need to, never reach out to this person again. I think there's danger in following blind advice, based on cards, because as my friend Vicky says, they're just cards. At the end of the day, they're just cards. It's the intention that the reader's putting into it and you as the receiver are hearing it. The intention is really what matters. So, you want to make wise choices, especially like if you're a Scorpio and this person is somebody that you're partnered with, you might need marriage counseling or, there might be something bigger there that you need to kind of address. But it was interesting because none of the readings had anything to do with health. And I'm going through this, this foot stuff, and maybe people my age don't typically go for these readings. I don't know. But I'm also on this horrible, and it's not horrible. I'm on a keto diet. I've lost a ton of weight. Very recently because I'm in ketosis. It's made me very tired, and which is not usual for me. But it's getting a little better every day, and I am seeing results from it, and my skin looks better, and blah, blah, blah. So, but none of these readings have anything to do with that. All of these readings are like, Scorpio, he's going to come back to you. And, I just want my friend back. Like, I just want my friend back. I would love for him to be upfront and honest about what ever happened and what goes on. I have a feeling, I know, but I am also not the greatest in interpreting those things. I think there is something insurmountable that's there that has to do with just, like my children and who I am and the role that I play in the lives of my children. I think, there's something there. I'm not as free as I want to be in some regards, and I think that's hard for this person to reconcile. And that's absolutely, I understand and accept. He hasn't necessarily said those words, but he's said those words before in other ways. So I think that might be the issue. And he deserves 100% of the best because I love him as, a person. I love him. He is a soul mate to me. So whether he recognizes that or not, I want him to have 100% of the best all of the time. And if that isn't having me in his life, then that's what that is. So I've certainly accepted it, and it took a while though. Soul connections are hard, right? And then there's this thing called the twin flame. I have no idea what that means, but I don't know that he and I are twin flames, but we definitely have a soul connection, and I think we're always going to have that soul connection, whether we talk or not, whether we're friends or not. But I want the best for him, so whatever that is, I know that he internalizes a lot. And isn't always honest with himself about his feelings. And so, the gesture, funny, the cards all were the same in all these readings. I didn't get it at all. And so there has to be some truth to it, I guess. I think the ones that I'm definitely not drawn to the ones with the weird hair and all that, just because I think they're trying too hard to look the part. The ones I like the best are just like these men and women who just are at home and they're just normal looking, right? They haven't gone, there's some that do makeup and stuff, but, they're really about the message that they're giving. And I do think that they feel like they are giving a solid, good message. So, I don't believe in predicting the future because I don't, I think, we have free will. I believe we have free will. So I think there are things to guide you, just like I use runestones to, guide sort of my thoughts for the day or my thoughts for the week or whatever. I don't think you should take anything as 100%, like do this, none of them were, all of them have like ways to make money, right? But I think about, I have friends who are carpenters, and they're beautiful carpenters, and they're always like, people are always asking me to make something for free for them. It's my art, it's my work, and I have to pay for materials, I have to pay for supplies, and I have to pay for my time. My time is worth it. And so I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, we seem to think like if they charge for their time that they're, automatically a false prophet, but really it's their time, and this is their vocation. This is the thing they've been called to do, and their time is worth something. So, I'm not bothered necessarily. If they have an Etsy store, I've been going through the Etsy stores and buying things that make sense for me. I mean, I'm not into tarot, but I like bracelets and I like, crystals, and I don't know if they do anything, but I like them. So I've been trying to support them in that sort of way. Would I actually call upon them to do a reading? Probably not. If I were going to call upon a person to do a reading, it would be the first medium that I went to ever. Or I would contact my friend, because she is a person that I trust. I have seen her wisdom and her sight in action in a lot of different ways, including wisdom that included me and wisdom that didn't include me. So she really would be the person that I would go to if I wanted that sort of astral advice and a card reading. I would go to her. That's pretty much it. So, is it safe to watch them? Sure. It's your intention. It's your intention. Like, are you intending to jump off a bridge if this person tells you to jump off a bridge? Don't do that, right? Don't take bad advice. And no spiritual advisor of any kind of psychic medium is going to tell you to do that, right? And if they're demanding money from you, if they're demanding that you pay for something, again, that's a big warning sign, right? Even the big ones, even, the big mediums, I think often of Teresa Caputo, because I like her. But back when she wasn't famous, she would just be in a store and she'd just read people, right? She wasn't getting paid for that. She was just like, she had to get it off her head, right? Because she was surrounded by it. I think fame has done a little bit to her. I'm hoping she's connected to her spirit guides, but I have a feeling that fame has sort of won out on her. But in the beginning, I believe she does have ability, and I do believe that in the beginning, she really shared that sort of freely. And of course, she had a business doing it too, because her time is worth something. And she does have a gift. I don't have the gift of seeing people. I have a gift of intuition, if anything. And that sort of really came out as a child when different things would happen. When my grandmother passed, came out when my friend's daughter passed away. It comes out every once in a while. And so, I don't know how to develop that, but that of any of the gifts that I have, that's, the gift that I have is just knowing when things are going to happen, or knowing when things have happened. So I think we all have that intuition, though. Like, I think everybody has it, because I think we're all connected to this energy. We block it, we individually block it, but we're all connected to this energy. So anyway, that's what I've learned about psychic mediums on YouTube. And again, you can take it or leave it. I'm going to leave some links to some people that I did enjoy their card readings, and I thought they were interesting. And I thought they were not necessarily spot on. None of them are ever completely spot on, but I thought that they were like legit good, and I thought they were good readings, and I enjoyed watching them. So I'll leave some of those in the comments below for you to check out. And of course, as always, do your own research. All right, be well, and all the best of light and love to you. Be well. Bye-bye.